Alright, so chromatogram is the visual output of the chromatograph. So bila you run the chromatograph process, okay, to separate the mixture inside the solvent mixture, so kita akan nampak, okay, the two types of results lah. So this one is the paper chromatography, and this one is the a graph, okay, come out from the machine and you run your samples, okay. So dekat chromatogram paper, okay, as you can see dia ada peak, okay, peak di mana dia try successfully separate the compounds yang present pada your samples, okay. So kita nampaklah pada time berapa telah terhasilnya that telah keluarnya ataupun telah elute-nya that specific component, okay, or compounds. In paper chromatograph, okay, this is a picture of result of chromatogram di mana menggunakan paper. So usually the variables that measure is the retention factor. So retention factor is the calculated, okay, by using this formula: distance traveled by the compound divided by distance traveled by the solvent front. So because of this guna solvent dia akan dip, so using this formula dia ambil dah the movement of the, for example kita ambil the yellow pigment here 5.8 cm, okay, 5.8 cm divide by panjang of the solvent or the mobile phase yang bergerak daripada at the tips of this paper sampailah dia mobile phase tu berhenti yang kita nak lah, and then kita terus tarik the paper, okay, at the side yang kita dah measure as a stop lah untuk dia stop the mobile phase to move. So the measurement, okay, will be taken according to the length of the movement of the pigment divided by the movement of the mobile phases, okay, or the solvent. That is for paper chromatogram. Paper chromatogram dia guna the formula of retention factor. However, for chromatogram yang keluar ataupun graph or that come out, okay, after using the machine, dia memang automatically you boleh keluarkan this results, okay. And the result usually, okay, variables yang di measure adalah the retention time of the compound yang elute waktu the retention time of the product of the compound being eluted, right. So the formula of retention time is the distance, this is the formula, distance from the injection point, okay, to the center of peak, okay, divided by chart recorder speed. So this is already calculated and being tabulated lah dekat ataupun being drafted dekat dalam graph tersebut, okay, untuk on specific compounds. So this is for your information on the formula to calculate the RT, okay. And for example here, this is the time of your injection of your samples, and then at 2 seconds of the retention time, here will be the retention time, okay, at the 2.2 seconds, okay, keluarlah satu peak, okay, and this is the air peak, okay, and then at 6.5 retention time keluarnya peak A, and 13.5 retention time keluarnya peak B, okay. So in the chromatogram, okay, yang menggunakan graph, okay, so the data that usually come out, okay, adalah time of the compounds eluted, okay, from your sample mixture or from your extract, okay, after you inject dalam you punya machine, okay. And types of chromatography, okay, dia ada paper chromatography, thin layer chromatography, okay, dia ada 6 in total, but this is number 1 is paper chromatography, okay, number 2 thin layer chromatography. Paper chromatography is the simplest form, is a very simplest form of chromatography, dan mana kita gunakan only the paper tadi yang macam mana tunjuk tadi just now, the paper chromatography. And after you complete the process of chromatography, okay, then the paper tu will become your chromatogram, yang mana you akan analyze the retention factor, kan, the RF. So the mobile phase for this paper chromatography is the solvent yang you dip, okay, yang mana dia akan carry the carry your solvent mixture or your extract along the stationary phase, which is the chromatography paper, right. The chromatography paper will be your stationary phase. Next is the thin layer chromatography. Thin layer chromatography beza dia hampir sama dengan paper chromatography. Mana dia dip pada solvent, okay. And the solvent will become the mobile phase, okay. Dia akan letak the okay, and the mobile phase will bring the pigment, okay, along this plate, okay. Bezanya dengan paper chromatography is that the thin layer chromatography dia tak guna paper tapi dia guna this TLC plate, thin layer chromatography plate, okay. So dia akan sama macam paper chromatography, dia akan letak, okay, your extract dekat dekat the at first point, dia akan letak your extract, okay, and then dia akan dip inside mobile phase, and then all the solvent, and then the mobile phase will move sampailah dekat one of the stop target yang kita nak measure lah, okay. Dan kita tarik, okay, kita angkat keluar, kita tak dip lagi inside the mobile phase, okay. So the mobile phase is a solvent, so dia punya mobile phase dia adalah solvent yang akan bergerak, okay, melalui the TLC plate. The stationary phase will be the TLC plate, which is a solid adsorbent on a flat support, okay. Okay, types of chromatography. Number 3 is liquid chromatography. Dia try to separate the analytes or compounds in solution, termasuklah metal ions and also the organic compounds. So liquid chromatography, the mobile phase, okay, adalah solvent, and the stationary phase, it could be liquid on a solid support, a solid or ion exchange resin. Number 4, type of chromatography is a high performance liquid chromatography. They use high pressure pump to increase the efficiency of the separation. So kalau you pernah belajar in chemistry, you guna HPLC machine, you guna bunyi pump ni, ping 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 kan, dia akan pump the mobile phases and so that the mobile phases will give a force for your sample to move along the stationary phase, okay. So that is HPLC. Beza dia adalah it use high pressure pump to increase the efficiency. Okay, next is gas chromatography. Gas chromatography, by the name itself, gas. So kita boleh expect dia punya mobile phase will be gas lah, and the stationary phase is usually a liquid on a solid support, ataupun kita panggil a column lah, okay, or sometimes it's a solid adsorbent. This gas chromatography, beza dia try to separate the volatile organic compounds, okay, maksudnya organic compound that is volatile. And number 6, the last chromatography adalah size exclusion chromatography. Dia menggunakan gel permeation, okay, di mana the mobile phase will be the solvent yang akan move the components, okay, and the stationary phase will be the porous particles, okay. That's why and the porous particle is come from the gel itself lah, okay. Okay, first paper chromatography to this week, okay. On this week 9, this week 9 we will focus only 2 types of chromatography. Part 1 is the paper chromatography, second is the thin layer chromatography. So in chromatography, again, okay, what I have to highlight is that they have 3 main components, okay, for you to understand about the chromatography. First is the sample mixture, second is the mobile phase, third is the stationary phase. Sample mixture is the extract yang you prepare tadi lah, by extraction, by distillation, by solvent extraction, by solid phase extraction, okay. And then you want to separate the compounds or analytes inside the extract, so you guna chromatography. So the first yang kita nak tahu adalah menggunakan paper chromatography. Paper chromatography, dia punya mobile phase will be the solvent yang you letak dalam satu beaker. You letak you punya solvent, okay, and then you use the paper chromatography as your stationary phase, and then on the paper chromatography you have to put your extract, okay, and then dip the paper chromatography inside the solvent. So at a several time the mobile phase will move, okay, along this paper sampai dah dia reach at one target and yang you nak, okay. So then you have to lift up lah the paper chromatography. So paper chromatography is usually trial and error to get a best solvent for good resolution, you can try what is the best solvent to extract your to separate your extract okay. And then the mixture, the analysis is placed in a tiny concentrated dot near the bottom of the paper. So the extract is just put at the edge, okay, near to the beginning, okay, of the chromatography paper, okay, and then it will move along the paper sampailah dekat reach the end. Paper chromatography is hung, okay, with the bottom dip in solvent, okay, and then the solvent rises up, okay. The strip of the paper, the strip kita panggil will be the results lah, the chromatogram, okay. Then what we will measure is that the retention factor. Okay, so the formula of retention factor is distance traveled by the compound divided by distance traveled by the solvent front, as being mentioned just now about the formula. Okay, and this chromatography, okay, dia biasanya dia what the movement of the analytes ataupun the compounds ni adalah based on the color atau called as color pigments. And usually color pigments ni untuk tumbuhan kita ada chlorophyll lah, okay, and this chlorophyll and color pigments may be separated according to their various chemical charges, okay. And then using this chromatography, after several times kita akan nampak the movement of the pigments sampailah at the end yang kita nak target, okay. And then this is a chromatogram. Okay, as you can see here, dia letak spots, okay, of extract dia sampailah dia kita akan nampak, okay, the top will be, kita akan refer to standard ataupun retention factor from previous studies, okay, that this type of length of movement of samples, okay. Top is carotene, okay, xanthophyll, okay, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. So chlorophyll B ni dia adalah lebih dia punya the show of the pigments is lebih cepat berbanding dengan carotene, and this all regarding to their charges, okay, of the compounds, okay. And here is the picture. Be sure you to keep the band of the leaf pigments above the solvent at all times. Okay, jangan letak sampai dia the pigments yang dekat tengah ni mencecah dengan solvent, because the solvent akan being absorbed, okay, sampailah dia reach top, okay. Next, second is the thin layer chromatography. Thin layer chromatography, beza tadi dia guna TLC plate instead of paper chromatography, and TLC plate ni bezanya adalah dia made by silica gel, okay, and thin layer chromatography useful for separating organic compounds, okay. Tapi tadi untuk yang paper chromatography dia lebih kepada pigments lah, to separate pigments, okay, and thin layer lebih sesuai untuk separate the organic compounds. It is also often used to monitor the progress of the organic reaction and to check the purity of your products, okay. In this TLC plate, okay, in TLC thin layer chromatography, okay, using the TLC plate, okay, on the plate, okay, dia boleh letak your sample, reaction mixture dan juga you punya standard, okay. You boleh letak standard to compare, because in the chromatography technique memang kita perlukan standard, okay. Bila kita dapat result, we want to know what actually, okay, the peak ataupun the komponen yang elute tu adalah apa, so kita kena refer pada standard. So in this TLC, okay, technique, kita boleh letak our standard first, and then our samples, and we want to compare, oh, this is the standard of 4M, okay, and then we run our samples, or ada M in our extract. So then this can prove that our samples present with this type of compound, the M compound, okay, like that. This is the LC, okay, and consists of a stationary phase. So the stationary phase there will be the TLC plate, okay, and the mobile phase is the organic solvent yang you dip lah the TLC plate. The sample either liquid ke solid ke, okay, must dissolve in a volatile solvent. Solvent yang you guna untuk also extract your sample must be volatile solvent lah, okay. Then after you dah prepare the extract, you can put your extract at the beginning point menggunakan capillary tubing. So you can do comparison of your sample dengan standard simultaneously running. Okay, for example, this is a non-cocaine, the standard cocaine. Okay, and the second one is the standard heroin, and the number 3 is the standard methamphetamine. Okay, after you can run simultaneously with your samples. This is unknown from case. Okay, and then bila run sample, rupanya the extract or your extract samples, okay, all have it has all components yang you nak measure lah, okay, based on the standard, because kita nampak adanya cocaine, adanya presence of heroin in your sample, and also ada methamphetamine. Okay, and the bottom edge of the plate is placed in a solvent. Okay, and the solvent will move up the maksudnya dia akan dip this TLC plate dalam mobile phase, okay, as or a solvent, and then dia akan the solvent then will bring the samples, okay, along the TLC plate, okay, using capillary action. When the solvent front reach the edge, you have to remove your TLC plate from the solvent reservoir. Okay, what about if your samples yang organic compound tadi colourless, okay, tak ada colour, tak ada pigment. So what you have to do is that you have to visualize your sample dalam ultraviolet light, okay, ataupun you boleh place your plate tu dalam iodine vapor. So this is your sample chromatograph TLC plate tadi, and the TLC plate tak nampak colour, so you letak dalam satu bekas with the iodine vapor. So then this will help in keluarkan colour ataupun help you to view your the movement of your organic compounds, okay, along the TLC plate. Okay, so the TLC plate is made by silica, glass plate with silica, and this is example of typical TLC chromatogram of TLC plate. Okay, TLC, thin layer chromatography. So thin layer chromatography is made by silica gel. Thin layer chromatography, they have 4 stages in TLC. First, you have to apply your sample using the capillary tubing, okay, and then development. This is when the development adalah when the separation occur, dia akan move until top. Okay, our result will be viewed. So you nak tengok your result, and kalau tak nampak colour kan, this not focus on the pigment samples, but mostly focus on organic compounds. Okay, and you can view your sample using UV light ataupun iodine vapor, and then you can calculate the results of variables yang you measure adalah retention factor. Starting line, put your samples, okay, and then they akan this is apply your samples at the starting line, and then development of TLC plate, you have to place your TLC plate dalam dip this plate inside the solvent or the mobile phase. So the movement of by using capillary action, dan dia akan sampai dekat finishing line. Okay, after that you have to view your TLC plate under UV light, okay, to identify the spot or the movement of your samples. Okay, so interpretation of the TLC result using the RF formula, distance spot has moved divide by distance solvent has moved, macam lab paper chromatography punya teknik of measuring the retention factor. Okay, comparison of TLC and paper, obviously, okay, for TLC it is more sharp separation, however paper chromatography the separation is less sharp, and thin layer chromatography more amount of substance required, dia perlukan banyak lah you punya extract tu perlu banyak, okay, and however less amount of substance is required. Thin layer less time, cepat, however paper dia lebih lama, proses dia makan masa, and TLC plate dia lebih tahan physical strength, however digunakan paper kan, paper chromatography, so dia kurang tahan lah, lack of physical strength. the T-layer, the principle of separation is by adsorption. However, the principle of separation is by partition untuk paper chromatography. So you can read more on this the comparison for TLC and also paper chromatography. So these are the two techniques that highly focused in this chapter, week 9, okay, on this chapter. So next type of chromatography kita akan highlighted next on week 10. Alright, so thank you. I hope you understand well on the on this chapter, okay, especially the chromatography. Okay, and this chromatography technique, the paper chromatography and thin layer chromatography, only will be held after you do the extraction process. Okay, so extraction pun dah explain. Okay, then the chromatography technique. Hope you understand well. Okay, and that's all for today. For this week 9. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.